Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My Halos have been hot to start the off season, a little unexpectedly. Today, they signed Travis d'Arnaud to a 2-year, $12 million contract. Personally, as an Angels fan, I'm loving this move. Obviously, it'll help Logan O'Hoppe down the road. And then second to that, Matt Thaiss just doesn't get it done as the backup catcher. O'Hoppe caught way too many games. I think he caught 88% of the Angels games through August. And then obviously his offense derailed a little bit in the second half. So I think this will be a nice platoon. d'Arnaud does crush lefties. But yeah, I mean, what are your initial reactions to this?
Yeah, I was surprised that he was this cheap. I mean, this guy has been a 15 homer guy pretty consistently for the last few years. He's obviously bounced around a little bit. Obviously, won a World Series with Atlanta. So he's a winner. And a team like the Angels who are kind of going through that no, it's not a rebuild, but it's like a retool, like turning over the guard to younger players. Now you bring in a vet like that, 35-year-old catcher to it's gonna be a really good mentor for O'Hoppe. And who knows, maybe this is the start of the Angels kind of kicking it into high gear a little bit, and obviously we'll get to the other moves in a second, but it's a very good start to the offseason for Perry Minasian.
Yeah, and second to that, they did sign Kyle Hendricks. Now, this move, if you look at Kyle Hendricks' numbers from last year, it is what it is. I mean, this is a guy that doesn't throw very hard.
Mhm.
He's had a lot of success for a long time. They think that they see something mechanically, they can get him back to his 2023 form, which we'll check out later. Um, Overall, I don't love the move. And off the record, Blake will tell you that I've wanted Kyle Hendricks in an Angels uniform for like 7 years, So, I wanted him when he was in his prime and it just never came. And now he's here. Um, I think that he's going to eat innings for us,
Mhm.
but I don't love that we have Tyler Anderson and we have Kyle Hendricks, two guys that are sit around 90. Don't really K guys. It's going to be a pitch to contact. Right now, defensively, the Angels are not one of the better teams in the league. So we'll see. Obviously, like we said, hot start to the offseason. If they can add some defensive players, then this pitching staff with Hendricks and Anderson could work. But if it's the same guys that were running out there, um, you know, Taylor Ward's not a great defender in left. Rengifo isn't known for his glove. I mean, it's better at third than it is at second. If we bring Christian Moore up, that's not gonna that's not gonna really play defensively. He's there for his bat. Rendon can't really stay on the field. Neto might miss the first month of the season. So, those guys that are usually in there playing defense for this group, they do need to upgrade in that department. And moving on to their next deal, the Jorge Soler trade, that's not going to help the defense,
Yeah.
but it is going to help the bats. Obviously, last year losing Shohei Ohtani, not having that protection around Mike Trout. The only position player they signed last year was Aaron Hicks.
Yeah.
So we're off to a way better start. Um, he's gonna swing and miss a little bit, but he's gonna crush the ball 500 feet.
Yeah.
I personally like it. I know some people are like, well, Trout needs to DH more. We'll see about the defense in right field with Soler. It's not going to be great. We already know that. Um, but again, it's a power bat, and if you can supplement this roster with more defensive minded players, maybe a late inning, defensive replacement for him. Um, I think that this move will work out pretty nicely.
Yeah, just to go back on Hendricks for a sec. I mean, there were so many question marks with their rotation last year. You don't know what you're gonna get from Patrick Sandoval this year, right? I mean, you bring a guy like Hendricks, who has started 30 games, multiple seasons, just a stability, reliable guy that will take the ball every fifth day. And obviously, they lost Griffin Canning in this trade, so he kind of slots into that rotation. We'll get to their depth chart in a second, but Yeah, this Soler deal, I like it. I mean, it didn't really cost much. He's going to hit you 25 plus bombs. You mentioned that this swing and miss and a little bit of a defensive liability. But you also got this guy for another year too. So, there is some term with this, and obviously the Angels were comfortable taking on the whole on the contract, pardon me. And yeah, it definitely lengthens the lineup when you add Darno and Soler to that mix.
Yeah. Well, Patrick Sandoval is going to be out half the year because he had Tommy John,
Yeah.
so you can
Yeah.
scratch him off for the beginning
Yeah.
of the season. Obviously, like you said, Canning's gone. Detmers, we'll see. He spent half the year in AAA.
Mhm.
That really leaves, and I guess we can go over there now. That really leaves just Jose Soriano and Tyler Anderson.
Right.
Kahanowitz was solid last year. Um, a 3.99 65 innings pitch. He's the sinker ball guy. He's gonna get a lot of ground balls.
Mhm.
He's young. Caden Dana came up, for a couple starts. He did okay. But if we go to 2023, this is what I'm looking at. Kyle Hendricks at a 3.74. If you can even get a 4.4 ERA out of Kyle Hendricks and he's eating those innings and he's pitching those games for you,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a great signing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
but if
only
it is,
$2.5 million too. It's not like it's a $10 million contract, right? So it gets pretty bare minimum. Like if he gives you a 3.5 ERA, great. If he gives you a 4.5, I mean, it's $2 million, right? So there's not really much risk there for Hendricks.
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, let's go over to this payroll. Um, you know, Robert Stevenson's going to get an extra year because he's out
Yeah.
with injury from last year. So he should play into their plans, especially with Estevez getting traded last year. Darno is now going to be here for 2 years. Like you said, Jorge Soler for 2 years. Um, and then that 2027, the way it looks right now is where the Angels can really, make a big splash where they can kind of reset is this 2027 year.
Yeah.
Truthfully, they probably can do it next year. In
Hmm.
2026, you eat the year. It is what it is. It's going to be a high payroll. And, and then Rendon's going to fall off and Soler's going to fall off. And Stevenson at that point is a 2.5 club option. Darno will probably be gone at that point. So, you know, you're really looking at that as your window, 2027 with these young guys. Luis Rengifo is a free agent. Also, if you look at 27, you're going to lose Ward, Sandoval, Quijada. Suarez should be gone this year, if you're asking me. Um, but yeah, that 2027 year is going to be that year that they can kind of reset this. Maybe they start it this year and they kind of look at, hey, in 27, that's when we can make our big splashes, but we can start to build foundation now. I kind of feel like that's what they're doing. I think they're more gearing up for 26 than 25, but we'll see. I mean, we have a
let's
long off season,
let's
so
pick your brain here, okay? So Perry wants to make a big splash. Like obviously the Angels have signed big contracts in the past, right? In the history, like would it make sense for them to sign a Burns or a Freed like right now, or do you think it would be like or do you think it'd be too much out of their price?
I haven't checked in the 2026 free agents. But I do know that this free agent class is rich in starting pitching.
Mhm.
So if you're ever gonna do it, it's now. You have Burns, you have Freed. Even if you want to go after like a Eovaldi,
Blake Snell
um,
too.
yeah, Snell's out there again, and there were some rumors that they were in talks last year. That's what this team needs is starting pitching. But I mean, it's more than that. I mean, it's going to be a long road here. The Angels need, an ace, a number two. They need
They got a
a lot of
closer.
bullpen help.
Yeah,
They need a lot of bullpen help.
yeah.
I mean, it, this isn't a bullpen that you look at on paper and you're like, man. So they usually do add some bullpen arms. I'm not going to be surprised when they do that. In my opinion, you need another infielder. Maybe it's going to be on those cheap deals again. Maybe it's like a Jorge Polanco who's coming off an injury, also didn't have a great year in Seattle, can play a little bit of second base, third base. They're going to need guys like that to supplement this roster, this bench. Scott Kingery, they just got. I mean, we'll see what that turns into. Mickey Moniak was pretty bad last year. I
Yeah.
mean, it
Yeah.
just is what it is. So their outfield needs some depth. Joe Adell, even though he batted 207 last year, he did hit the 20 homers. Probably bought himself another year. Um, Taylor Ward, in my opinion, probably needs to go. He doesn't really fit the vision of the next wave of the Angels. And then Luis Rengifo had a great year last year. So I would like to keep Rengifo because he's versatile. He can steal some bags, and even though he only had 6 homers, he has shown pop in the past. I mean, what was 23? 23 had 16 homers.
Yeah.
Um,
Average is way up this year, so that was the biggest difference for him.
yeah. So um, yeah, I think the nucleus is there that we've talked about before on the channel, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean they need another infield bat. They need a lot of pitching,
Yeah.
and you'll go from there. Who knows if 25's obtainable? Uh, but 26, if you put the foundation in now, I think that's probably when the window really does open.
Yeah, that's you said it beautifully. You know more about the Angels than me, my friend. So, yeah, good start for the Halos for sure.
Yep. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. We took a little break. Blake actually came out to California and went on vacation. Got to see him for a week. So that's why there was no World Series review. But yeah, the Yankees got killed by the Dodgers, and we both took the Yanks. So, uh, yeah, in the comments, go ahead and tell us how much of idiots we are. But if you do like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. As always, we appreciate you guys for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.